Okay, I think we can kick things off. Hello and welcome to today's presentation on the CLIC connector open call for Latin America and the Caribbean. Thank you for joining us as we provide you with some hopefully useful information on the Climate Shot Investor Coalition, or CLIC for short, and the recent call for applications in Latin America and the Caribbean. Next slide, please. Thank you. As you can see, the agenda for today is an introduction into CLIC, specifically the CLIC Agrifood Investment Connector, and then going into some details on what the requirements are for the program and what you can get out of it, with some extra time spent on the impact assessment work that we do for agribusinesses in our cohorts. At the end, you will also have the chance to ask any questions you may still have. This can be done through the chat functionality on Zoom. So please feel free to send across the questions as we go through the presentation. Firstly, we start with an introduction into CLIC. So CLIC is a coalition of leaders in the agri-food space. We work to accelerate and scale finance for low carbon, climate resilient, and nature positive agriculture and food systems globally. Our members include impact investors and funds, asset managers, and technical assistance providers working in global agri-food systems. Our secretariat is the Climate Policy Initiative, an analysis and advisory organization that has deep expertise in climate finance. We were formed out of COP26, and our work is funded by the UK government. So the action pillars. So at CLIC, we are experts in the nexus of climate change and agri-food, and our work is centered around three pillars for maximum impact. So those are first, the knowledge products, through which we develop and disseminate thought leadership on the sector. We have two action groups, which members work together on priority initiatives. And finally, the Agri-Food Investment Connector, which I'll go into more details shortly. Next slide, please. So here you can see the people that are working on CLIC, where we have a broad range of backgrounds and experiences on the team. These experiences range from impact measurement, investment, financial modeling, and effective communication. Next slide. So now we move into the connector. So the Agri-Food Investment Connector works to support early and growth stage businesses, such as yourselves, who are providing climate and nature solutions to the agri-food sector. We work pro bono on a cohort basis and with enterprises across emerging markets. The support we provide our agribusinesses centers around helping them measure and communicate their climate and nature impact, and by helping them get in front of investors to have good quality conversations that will hopefully lead to funding. Next slide, please. So our reach to date, we have been running this program since 2023 with 3 cohorts so far in Sub-Saharan Africa and 1 in Latin America. We have 27 companies that come from 11 different countries. And we're very proud that 63% of our cohort companies have had female founders or co-founders. Since first receiving support from the connector, 9 SMEs have managed to raise capital or grants totaling close to $17 million. And 3 of them have received private funding for the first time. Next slide, please. Here you can see the cohort companies we have supported so far. So we have supported these companies to quantify their climate and nature risks and impacts, prepare and practice their pitch presentations, and connect with impact-driven investors, funders, and partners. We also took them to pitch at in-person and virtual events. Next slide, please. You will find on this slide some testimonials here from our past cohort members, Biotermica and Amapuri from Colombia, and Chum Chum from Mexico. They emphasized how the program strengthened their investment readiness, expanded their networks with investors and partners, and gave them valuable peer learning opportunities across ecosystems. as well as adding more credibility into investor conversations. The support helps businesses to better understand the impact of their operations and perfect their narrative. Next slide, please. Moving to the CLIC program. So here we would like to take some time to talk through the profile of agribusinesses that we are looking for and that we think we are specifically suited to support. So first, we are looking for legally incorporated for-profit enterprises engaged in agriculture and food systems. The enterprise should be implementing climate and nature positive practices within its operations or offer climate and nature intelligence products or services to the agri-food sector. So it is a broad remit. The main operations should be in Latin America and the Caribbean, but it could be possible that you also operate in additional regions. We just want to see that the majority of your operations are within these areas. Applicants should be early or growth stage, post-revenue with 2 years of operations and 1 year at least of audited financials. We search for post-revenue specifically because it is an indicator that your business plan may be slightly more settled and you have some traction. This enables us to make connections to investors. It also means that when we go into assess climate and nature impact, we can confidently assess your operations and the results you will continue to build on. Importantly, you should be actively seeking capital, whether through debt or equity financing. We want to help agribusinesses cross over from a reliance on grants and bootstrapping to be able to raise that funding to really scale. The outcomes of this process depend highly on the commitment that teams are able to provide. So therefore, we look for companies with a management team of at least 2 people, where one person will be the main point of contact for the CLIC team and able to commit to the time requirements of the process. Another thing to note that this program is conducted entirely in English, so at least one management team member will need to have a high level of English proficiency. Next slide, please. So how do we assess applications? So we have 5 key criteria. These are first, value proposition. So whether the business is addressing a real and critical problem and if the solution is applicable to that problem. Second, we look at market potential and scalability. Is the market opportunity large enough? Is the business differentiated and can it scale effectively? The third one is financial readiness and investment potential. So is the business financially sound? Are there clear revenue streams and traction? And are there material in place for proper evaluation? And fourth, we look at impact potential. So does the business have potential to deliver positive and ambitious climate outcomes that go beyond business as usual outcomes? And finally, the value to be gained from CLIC, whether the business shows enthusiasm to expand their climate and nature offering and requires investment and technical assistance to do so. Each application we receive will be assessed on these key criteria. Special attention will be paid to the impact potential and the value that we could add. Next slide, please. So this is to give you an idea of the connector program model. So the success, how do we work basically with the successful applicants and what we offer them? So first, we look at the business from an investor's perspective. And through a series of deep dive calls, we raise questions that would likely come up in any due diligence process. Then we can work with you on framing your business and impact narrative in a way that aligns with investors' needs, and we consolidate that in a business summary document. Next slide, please. Once we have a clear understanding of the business, we can move over into supporting in the preparation of relevant materials to engage investors. So these materials are for use in introductions and in getting into the investor pipeline. They include a company pitch deck for investor engagement and events, a 2-page company profile, and the climate and nature impact report. Next slide. Alongside this, we also want to give you the tools to prepare independently for these connections. This comes in the form of guidelines and reviews of your existing materials. We also work with several investors in our network who review your organization based on the initial materials that you provide to us. This helps prepare the SMEs for conversations and potential questions from investors' perspective. And finally, on a case-by-case basis, we would be able to provide some support on how you think about your financial projections. Next slide, please. So all of this technical assistance is to prepare you for the investor touch points and one-on-one matchmaking that we undertake. This is through in-person or virtual pitch events and in-person networking sessions and connections over email with investors. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as part of the Connector program, successful applicants will receive complimentary tickets and have the opportunity to attend the Latin American Impact Investment Forum, or FLI. So this is the top investment forum in LATAM, taking place in February in 2026 in Mexico. It brings together leading investors, entrepreneurs, ecosystem players from across the region. It's focused on creating positive and social environmental impact. Ahead of the event, we'll provide tailored support to help you prepare for investor conversations. And during FLI, you'll have the chance to connect directly with suitable investors and build valuable partnerships. Next slide, please. So this is the timeline for the program. So applications still have 1 month before the deadline. So the deadline is on September 22nd. So we encourage you to submit your applications as soon as possible, as we do review on a rolling basis. Screening and interviews will be done throughout September and October, and final selections will be informed in October. Our in-depth work begins in November and continues until February. It involves, as I said, the deep dive calls every 2 weeks, or via emails or WhatsApp correspondence to build a clearer narrative of your company. We will conduct impact calculations and work on investor materials ahead of the in-person event, which is FLI, that's happening in February. Following the event, we will continue to make one-on-one connections with relevant investors in our network. So in total, the program runs between 4 to 6 months, after which you transition into alumni status. Next slide, please. Now, let me pass on to Janice from the Impact team to talk a little bit more about the climate and nature assessment work that we do at CLIC. Over to you, Janice.
Thanks, Katham. Hello, everyone. I'm Janice, Impact Analyst at Connector team. Before I get into our approach and implementation, you might ask why we need one. So I'm here to explain a little bit before I play a video from Acumen Fund. So first, in pre-investment stage, investors rely on impact assessment to identify businesses that align with their fund's mission, ensuring investments contribute to climate and nature goals. It helps evaluate a company's financial and operational soundness, as well as in its credibility in delivering climate adaptation, mitigation, and nature positive outcomes. And post-investment, a sound impact assessment system allows investors to measure success and allows companies themselves to refine their impact delivery. So if Alice, you can play the video from the Impact Associate Director at Acumen Funds on the importance of impact assessment. The volume is out, I think. Alice, I think the volume is down. Well, never mind. We can stop it, a technical issue. But anyway, basically what I was saying, the same thing, that it helps investment fund to understand the company better. And really the key is to measure what matters and to help the companies to further refine their impact delivery. So let's look at what we have developed in terms of our approach. Thank you, Alice. So at CLIC Connector, we have developed an investor-aligned and SME-focused approach to impact assessment. We use a result chain framework by connecting SME activities to measurable outputs, outcomes, and impacts. And our in-house toolkit spanning narrative templates, practice indicator lookup, and methodology guidances ensure credibility through open access methods. We have collected 75 climate and nature activities commonly carried out by agri-SMEs from emerging economies, and we have mapped relevant indicators to each activity as a starting guide. And where available, we have developed methodology guidances to calculate these indicators. And furthermore, we have synthesized a short list of priority investor indicators from actual impact funds to guide SMEs on data collection and reporting for the important metrics. And the results of our assessment are tangible, such as reduced emissions, enhanced yields, and increased farmer income. So let's look at the 3 key outputs you will receive by end of the program. Next slide, please. So first, the Context and Impact Dashboard provides a high-level view of the regional climate context along with impact pathways, recommended indicators, a tracker to support future monitoring. Then the Climate and Nature Impact Report goes deeper, offering an executive summary, methodology, calculations, and final results, supported with case studies to make the insights more tangible if available. And finally, the Climate and Nature Impact slide distills these findings into a clear visual summary for investors as part of the pitch deck, highlighting key metrics of your impact to date. Together, these tools provide a comprehensive yet accessible way to communicate your impacts and progress. And founders have generally found our approach useful for both internal and external communications. The impact results often help increase investors' interest and engagement. If you can move to the next slide. Thank you. So yeah, now on to Q&A. Please use the Q&A feature to ask questions. I believe we already have some questions from the sign-up form, which Kazem will further address now.
Yes, thank you, Janice. So we have received 2 questions. So the first question was, who is eligible for funding? So yeah, the CLIC Connector program does not provide any funding ourselves. However, the primary objective is to connect you to the right funders and prepare you for the conversations with those investors. So we can work with the organizations that are raising anything from a few 100,000 to a few million. So it's really on a case-by-case basis and depends on if your business plan, fundraising plan makes sense. The second question was the time requirement from management. So yeah, I touched on this briefly in the eligibility requirements. So we do require 1 point of contact from the management team, and if possible, an additional point of contact for someone involved in the impact measurement side. So basically, we conduct 1-hour in-depth calls every 2 weeks in the lead up to the event. So that is the base time requirement. But on top of that, of course, there will be correspondence over email or WhatsApp, whichever channel works best. That is basically to review some materials and to communicate areas where we would need the SME's input. So we would require some responsiveness. However, if you're traveling for work or going to be in areas with poor signal, that's completely fine, and we can work around those if we receive prior warning. Let me check if we have other questions in the chat. So yeah, this is being recorded. Yeah. If you have any other questions, you can drop it in the Q&A. The button is at the bottom. I'll give it a few minutes. Of course, you can email us with any questions that may come up, and we'll make sure to get back to you with answers on that. So yeah, this is the email address. So if there's any questions, please feel free to send us an email and we'll get back to you. And I think if there's nothing else,
There's one question from Q&A.
Is there another one?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Jacob, for the investor engagement materials, what is the profile and time dedication of the members of the CLIC team that we would be able to draw on? Yeah, so as for the profile of the team members, so as we said, maybe we can go to the team slide. So it's a diverse background. So for example, my background is more on the financial side. We have impact specialists. We have people who've worked in the VC ecosystem, people who've worked in Africa as well, Latin America. So it's a diverse background, and we can pull on and leverage the wider CLIC and CPI team members. So if there is any kind of expertise that the SMEs would require, we can leverage on the wider CPI team members. As for the time dedication of the members, so as explained, we work on a cohort basis. So we will be, during these few months leading up to the conference, we will be working basically with the cohort. So that will be on a day-to-day basis. Hope that answers your question, Jacob. Great. All right. I think we can then close the call. Again, if there's anything else, please feel free to email us. Thank you all for joining. Looking forward to receiving your applications. Thank you.
Thank you.